Hi, and welcome back to Authentic Mastery. I was sitting there and I was talking to one of my coaching clients, and I was finding that with them, they were having trouble with some past stuff that they had experienced during childhood. Now, we all go through traumas in life. Some can be small, some can be big, and they affect us in different ways. The way our brain works is our brain is always asking two questions. What does this mean, and what do I do in any given situation? When your brain is asking those questions of what does this mean and what should I do, it's going to find an answer. Now, that answer can either be empowering or disempowering. It happens in a split second. And oftentimes, especially when we're children and we have experiences, we come to conclusions and we make things up for what's going on because we don't know how to handle it. And our brains are built for survival. That's their main goal, is to keep you alive, keep you functioning, keep you safe at whatever the cost. And as we grow into adulthood, we take those personas, those beliefs, those skills that we learned when we were younger, and we use them in our adult life. Now, they may have served us as a child at that time, but a lot of them don't have any place in today's world in who you are as an adult. We try to accommodate with what we have, and that's why people's lives can feel like all screwed up. You take two steps forward, you go one step back, and that's going to be part of the growth. But as I was saying, when I was talking with my client, they were having problems with relationships, and what we dug into is they created a belief of abandonment, and that belief came from a problem with when they were young with their parents. They ended up getting divorced. It wasn't a nice divorce, and they were kind of caught in the middle, used as a pawn throughout the whole thing. And that did not help them as they grew up building their relationships. I helped them work through that. And as I was sitting there, I ask myself questions all the time. I'm trying to grow. And it's like, what blocks do I have? What beliefs have I maybe picked up that no longer serve me? And I did some soul searching, and I tapped into spiritual guides and that, and asked for help. And I was sitting there just kind of contemplating, closed my eyes, sat down, took a few deep breaths, and found a core thing that happened in my childhood of a situation that caused a block in me between creating businesses and relationships. I've always thought deep down, not consciously, because I know better consciously, that, I was taught growing up that, what are some of the sayings you probably heard? You can't have your cake and eat it too. When I was a kid, I was like, why the hell would you bake a cake if you can't eat it? It's like, why can't you have it all? Why can't you have a life that you want and that you create? And I always pushed against that and moved forward. But the problem was I had these underlying beliefs that, you can't have this. Because through an experience in my childhood, I witnessed people close to me who had a business and their relationship went bad. And when that happened, somewhere in my brain, my childhood brain went, what does this mean? What should I do? And it meant to me that having your own business and having a great relationship, you had to choose one or the other. You couldn't have both. So throughout my life, I've, get going really well with businesses. I start making money, I'm doing stuff. And then there's a part of me going, you know what? I'd like to be in a relationship. So then I turn around and I give my all to that relationship, and then my business starts to suffer. And I'm going back and forth. And deep down, I always felt I could have one. I couldn't have both. One or the other. Couldn't have both. And going back to that childhood trauma, you can call it shadow work or whatever the heck you want to call it. I went back there and I looked at that belief, and I felt the emotions come up. I allowed them to be released. And There's a difference between getting stuck in your emotion and releasing the emotion. It's okay to feel your emotions. We have them as guiding lights, guiding stones to let us know if we're on course or off course at any given moment. And that's where you do the check-ins. You sit down, you take a deep breath, and you go, what am I feeling right now? And, put it in a journal, write it down. Why am I feeling this way? If it's good, great, try to enhance it. If it's a feeling like, I'm feeling lost, I'm feeling abandoned, or I'm feeling sad, whatever it is, why are you feeling that? Now, ask yourself another question. Is this even mine? Did I create this? Or did I adopt this from somebody or some situation? And sit there and really analyze it. Take a look at it. You want to be the observer of your life. The challenge we go through in life, and so many people do, is that they're busy running on automatic pilot. They don't take the time to sit down and question their beliefs. Going in and find, okay, why did I get triggered by this situation? What's going on? Like, what's causing me to feel these emotions come up and react like this? By sitting down and doing the work and understanding yourself, that's where the growth really happens. Because most of the time you'll realize that I did not sit down and create my beliefs. I didn't, at a young age, sit down there and go, you know what? This is what I'm going to believe about life. This is the rules I've got. These are the values I got. And this is what I'm going to follow moving on for the rest of my life. No, we pick stuff up. We see what's happening. We interpret things that are happening. And we shove it in. We shove it down. We have situations that come up that, we are hurt or something happens, and we put a meaning behind that. That meaning now becomes a belief that we adopt. And some of them, when you look at them, it's like consciously you're going, that's ridiculous. I don't believe that. And that's fine. But internally, somewhere, you're running that same pattern. Whether you believe it consciously or not, you're still running that same pattern. And that's where, with myself even, I sat down, I had to go in and do the work. I had to realize, yes, that is completely ridiculous. I had to comfort that inner child, that those feelings that I had, that, you know what, it's not your fault. You weren't responsible for this. The adults around you made choices that caused these situations. You weren't the cause of this situation. It's how they interpreted their situation. It's what they did in their situation. And unfortunately, as kids, especially at young ages, up to I think what the age is like 7 or something like that, we absorb everything coming in. 6, 7 years old, you're absorbing everything. You're a sponge. And you don't understand, because you don't have the reasoning ability at that age to sit down and really figure out what's going on. That's why if you have kids and something happens in your home life and there's a situation, even if you get upset and you lash out, that's something coming in from inside. It's not having to do with your children. Yes, children can maybe frustrate you. They'll push you buttons. They'll push boundaries because they're trying to explore their world. But if you blow up at them and you get upset, take that moment, gather yourself, come back and tell them, you know what? Daddy, mommy, whoever did this is in a bad place. I'm experiencing things and I shouldn't have done that. It's not your fault. Because we were never reassured as a kid. I don't know about you, but I never really felt like I got that emotional support. Yeah, I was loved. My parents did the best they could. My family did the best they could. But they were running family patterns. They were doing things that they were stuck in. And a lot of people back then weren't open to the growth. That's something I did at a very young age. Is I always question, it's like, what makes people do what they do? Why are people acting like this? And I became curious. I never had at the time things like YouTube or access to this stuff. It was like finding books or going to seminars, and it got expensive doing that kind of stuff. Now there's information at your fingertips. If you have a phone, you've got the ability to learn anything and figure things out for yourself. So it's good to question things. It's good to go inside and work on those beliefs and figure out what is going on with you. Design your life instead of life push you around, because your beliefs, your values, your rules to things were designed when you were a child. And things were stacked upon that through your experiences in life. Somebody hurt you, then, down the road, something else happens and you get hurt. Well, it's because of this. It's because of this. It's because of this. And that might not have anything to do with it. It's a story you're telling yourself, and we got to get to the bottom of these stories so that you can tap into who you truly are, that authentic self, and grow. Our lives are meant to be wonderful. We're not here to suffer. We're not here to be always in pain. Yes, there is going to be suffering in life. There is going to be pain. Those are learning moments. Those are things that help you grow to the next level. One of my clients said that they hit a certain level in their life and their business, and they wanted to take it up to a higher level, and they were struggling. And as I was talking to them, it's like the beliefs and values you hold, the way you're doing things now, you can't be that person in order to get here. You have to change and grow in order to get to the next level. And that's with anybody in any situation. Where you are right now, you get into this comfort zone and you're happy to be there. And it's all great in that. But if you really want to live life to the fullest, you got to move up to that next level. So you got to get comfortable getting uncomfortable and doing the growth work that is necessary to move forward. Because if you ain't growing, you're stagnating, you're dying. Like, take a look at life. That's how nature works. If it isn't growing, it's dying. So you want to keep moving forward and pushing yourself to really understand who you are at the core and develop into the person that you are proud of, that you are happy with, and that you are completely at peace with, and that is growing and just manifesting abundance left, right, and center. So hopefully that helped you. If it did, please, leave a comment below. I like to hear your opinions on this. I like to get your feedback. Let's make this a dialogue. Let's share information, and because you may have had an experience that can help somebody else grow. And by leaving a comment, hitting a like, subscribing, I greatly appreciate that, because the more we can be out there and helping people, that's why I designed this channel. I love helping people, and hopefully something I say resonates with you and can help take you to the next level of your life. So until next time, you have yourself a great day. Remember, you are an amazing person. You can have it all. You got this. We love you. Take care, and talk to you next time.